Captain Ryan Blake stood on the bridge of the UES Horizon and watched the massive space station grow larger on the main screen. The Galactic Council station looked like a giant metal flower floating in the darkness of space. Its crystalline towers caught the light from the nearby star and threw rainbow patterns across his ship's hull. Dr. Lisa Martinez walked up beside him and checked her data pad. She had been studying alien cultures for 20 years, but still felt nervous before these big meetings. The Council always made humans feel small and unimportant. That was exactly what they wanted. "Sir, the Council is ready for us," said Lieutenant Amy Foster from her station. She was young but smart and had been watching the alien communications all morning. Something felt different today. The messages were shorter and more direct than usual. Admiral Jake Morrison joined them on the bridge. He was the highest-ranking military officer from Earth and had been dealing with the Council for 15 years. His face looked tired and worried. He carried a sealed message tube that had arrived from Earth just hours before they docked. "Captain, I need to speak with you and Dr. Martinez in private," Morrison said. His voice was quiet but serious. Blake nodded and led them to his ready room behind the bridge. The ready room was small and simple. Earth ships were built for function, not comfort. Morrison sat down and placed the message tube on the table. He looked at both of them for a long moment before speaking. "The Council is going to give us an ultimatum today," Morrison said. "Our sources inside the station have been sending warnings for weeks. The Vorthak Empire has been pushing the other species to take action against us." Dr. Martinez frowned. "What kind of action?" she asked. The Vorthak were one of the oldest and most powerful species in the galaxy. They looked like living crystals and thought all younger species should serve them. Morrison opened the message tube and pulled out a data chip. "Intelligence suggests they want us to give up all our military ships and accept protection status under Vorthak control," he said. "If we refuse, they will kick us out of the Council completely." Blake felt his stomach drop. Humanity had worked for 50 years to earn their place in galactic society. They had followed every rule and accepted every insult. Human ships were limited to basic designs. Human colonies could only expand where the Council allowed. Human technology was shared freely, while alien technology was kept secret. "There is something else," Morrison continued. He inserted the data chip into the table's reader. "Earth Command believes this ultimatum is actually a test. The Vorthak have been studying our military files. They suspect we have been hiding our real capabilities." The screen showed intercepted alien communications. Dr. Martinez translated the strange symbols and geometric patterns. The messages were between Vorthak military commanders. They were discussing human battle tactics and asking questions about Earth's defensive systems. "They know we are stronger than we pretend to be," Blake said. It was not a question. Morrison nodded. "For 50 years we have been the galaxy's favorite junior species. We smile and nod and take orders. But the Vorthak are not stupid. They have been watching how our diplomats think and how our traders negotiate. They see patterns that worry them." Amy Foster's voice came through the comm system. "Sir, the Council is requesting immediate docking. They say the session will begin in 1 hour." Blake looked at the Admiral. "What are our orders from Earth?" Morrison reached into his jacket and pulled out a small device. It looked like a simple communication badge, but Blake recognized it immediately. Every Earthship carried one, but they had never been used. It was a Protocol 7 transmitter. "If the Council forces our hand today, we are authorized to send this signal," Morrison said. "Protocol 7 has been our backup plan since first contact. The question is whether we are ready to show the galaxy who we really are." Dr. Martinez stood up and walked to the small window. The Council station was so close now that she could see individual ships docked at its many arms. Hundreds of alien vessels from dozens of different species. All of them believed humans were weak and primitive. "What happens if we send the signal?" she asked. Morrison's expression became very serious. "Everything changes," he said. "There is no going back once. Protocol 7 is active. The galaxy will learn that humanity has been preparing for this day since we first left Earth. Our real fleet, our real weapons, our real plans." Blake felt a strange mix of fear and excitement. He had always known this day might come. Every human officer was briefed about Protocol 7 during their training. They were told that someday the galaxy might force humanity to reveal its true nature. "The council chambers are requesting our presence," Amy's voice announced again. "All diplomatic parties must report immediately." The three humans looked at each other. They all knew their roles. Blake would attend the formal session as Earth's representative. Morrison would observe and assess the military situation. Dr. Martinez would monitor alien reactions and cultural signals. But first, they needed to prepare for what might be humanity's most important moment in galactic history. Morrison sealed the Protocol 7 device back in his jacket. "Remember," he said, "we go in as the same humans they expect to see. Polite, cooperative, slightly confused by their superior technology. If they push us too far today, the signal goes out and everything changes." Blake straightened his uniform and checked his diplomatic credentials. He had represented Earth in dozens of council sessions. He knew how to play the role of the respectful junior species representative. But today felt different. Today might be the last time he had to pretend. "Doctor." Martinez gathered her cultural analysis equipment. She would be recording everything for Earth's archives. If Protocol 7 was activated, these recordings would become historic documents of the moment humanity stopped hiding. Amy Foster appeared in the doorway. "Sir, the docking is complete," she reported. "Council security is waiting to escort you to the chambers." Blake nodded and walked toward the door. Then he stopped and turned back to Morrison. "Admiral," he said, "if we send that signal today, how long before the galaxy realizes what we really are?" Morrison smiled for the first time that day. It was not a happy smile. "Captain," he said, "I estimate about 30 seconds after the first alien ship tries to enforce their ultimatum." The three humans left the ready room and walked toward their destiny. Behind them, the UES Horizon's communication array quietly aligned itself with Earth. Across the galaxy, other human ships were doing the same thing. The network was ready. Protocol 7 waited for its moment. The galaxy was about to learn that humanity had been holding back for 50 years. Today that might end. General Kate Sullivan was deep underground when the alert came through. The command center was buried 3 miles beneath the Colorado mountains and had been waiting for this moment for decades. Red lights flashed across hundreds of control stations as the Protocol 7 signal reached Earth. "Confirm signal authentication," Sullivan ordered. Her voice was calm, but everyone in the room could feel the tension. Protocol 7 had been planned and practiced, but never used. Colonel Danny Rodriguez checked his console twice before responding. "Signal confirmed, General. Authorization code matches. Captain Blake has activated Protocol 7 from the council station." Sullivan walked to the main display screen. It showed a map of human space that looked nothing like what the galaxy believed existed. The official record showed Earth and 12 colony worlds protected by 200 basic ships. The reality was very different. "Bring up the real deployment map," Sullivan commanded. The screen changed and revealed the truth. Hidden asteroid bases appeared throughout the Sol system. Camouflaged shipyards orbited distant moons. Cloaked defense platforms surrounded every human world. The galaxy had been looking at shadows while the real military infrastructure stayed invisible. Commander Steve Carter stood up from his station. He had been managing the deception for 15 years and knew every detail of humanity's hidden strength. "General, all Ghost Fleet units are reporting ready status. We have 3,000 ships standing by across 47 star systems." Dr. Helen Park joined them at the main screen. She was the head of advanced weapons development and had spent her career building tools the galaxy had never seen. "Sir, our technology packages are loaded and ready for deployment. Every ship has been upgraded with the latest systems." Sullivan nodded and activated the command protocol. Across human space bases that had been dormant for years suddenly came to life. Asteroid mining facilities revealed themselves to be massive weapons platforms. Peaceful research stations deployed military-grade shields and sensor arrays. The transformation was remarkable. In the Centauri system, 3 scientific research vessels suddenly expanded into full battle cruisers. Their hulls had been designed to look small and harmless but contained folding armor plating and hidden weapon ports. Colonel Rodriguez was monitoring alien communications from the Council station. "General, we are receiving reports that the Council has delivered their ultimatum. Captain Blake is requesting immediate fleet support." "How long until the Vorthak move against us?" Sullivan asked. Dr. Park checked her intelligence reports. "Based on their previous patterns, I estimate 6 hours before they send a fleet to the nearest human colony. They will want to make an example." Sullivan smiled. She had been preparing for this scenario since she was a junior officer. "Then, we have 6 hours to show them what humans actually look like when we stop pretending." The first phase of Protocol 7 began immediately. Across the galaxy, human trade ships suddenly revealed their true nature. The vessels that aliens thought were simple cargo haulers deployed advanced sensor packages and began scanning everything in their vicinity. Commander Carter activated the communication network. Every human ship and station was now connected through quantum entanglement transmitters that made communication instantaneous across any distance. The technology was beyond anything the Council had seen. "Sir, the Ghost Fleet is ready to deploy," Rodriguez reported. "All stealth systems are active and vessels are moving into position." The Ghost Fleet was humanity's secret weapon. 100 ships that were completely invisible to all known detection methods. They had been infiltrating Council space for years and mapping every alien defense system. Now they were ready to strike. Dr. Park activated her weapons research division. "General, I'm releasing all technology restrictions. Our ships now have access to matter displacement weapons, adaptive AI tactical systems, and quantum communication arrays." Sullivan watched as the deployment proceeded exactly as planned. Every human commander had trained for this moment. Every ship knew its role. Every weapon system had been tested and perfected in secret. The transformation extended beyond just military assets. Human colonies that had appeared defenseless suddenly activated planetary defense systems that rivaled anything the major galactic powers possessed. Shield generators rose from hidden underground facilities. Orbital weapons platforms decloaked around every inhabited world. "General, we have confirmation from New Boston Colony," Carter announced. 3 Vorthak inspection ships are approaching the system. They appear to be the advance force for a larger fleet. New Boston was humanity's newest colony and appeared to be the most vulnerable target. The Vorthak had chosen it specifically because intelligence reports suggested it was lightly defended. They were about to learn how wrong their intelligence was. Sullivan activated the command channel to New Boston. "This is Earth Command to New Boston Defense Force. You are authorized to demonstrate Protocol 7 capabilities. Show them what we really are." The response came immediately from Captain Ben Harris, who commanded the colony's defense fleet. "Earth Command, this is New Boston Actual. We have been waiting 50 years for this order. Engaging hostile forces with full capability." What happened next would change galactic history forever. The 3 Vorthak ships approached New Boston expecting to find a small human settlement, protected by basic defense platforms. Instead, they encountered something unprecedented. The colony's defense fleet consisted of 30 ships that appeared to be standard human designs. But as the Vorthak vessels moved closer, the human ships began to change. Hidden weapon systems deployed, stealth generators activated, AI tactical computers came online. Dr. Park monitored the engagement from Earth. "General, the New Boston fleet is demonstrating adaptive shielding technology. The Vorthak weapons are having no effect." The battle was not really a battle at all, it was a demonstration. The human ships moved with precision that seemed impossible. They anticipated every Vorthak tactic and countered it instantly. Their weapons were designed specifically to exploit crystalline technology weaknesses. "Sir, we are receiving surrender requests from the Vorthak ships," Rodriguez reported. "They are asking for mercy and offering to withdraw immediately." Sullivan considered the options. Protocol 7 was not about destroying the galaxy. It was about showing everyone that humanity could not be pushed around anymore. "Order New Boston to disable the ships, but preserve the crews. We want survivors to carry the message back to the Council." The engagement ended within minutes. 3 of the galaxy's most advanced warships had been completely outclassed by what everyone believed was a primitive human colony. The survivors would return to the Council with footage and sensor data that would terrify the galaxy's leadership. Colonel Rodriguez was already receiving reports from other human positions. General, our stealth units are confirming Vorthak fleet movements toward 7 additional human systems. It appears they planned a coordinated assault. Then we give them a coordinated response, Sullivan replied. Activate all Ghost Fleet units. I want every Vorthak military installation to understand that we have been watching them for years. The Ghost Fleet struck simultaneously across 12 star systems. Vorthak command posts suddenly found human ships appearing inside their defensive perimeters. Weapons platforms that had never been detected began transmitting surrender demands in perfect Vorthak language. Dr. Park was monitoring the technology demonstrations. General, our adaptive AI systems are performing beyond expectations. They are learning Vorthak tactics faster than the aliens can develop them. Commander Carter added his report. Sir, quantum communication arrays are allowing real-time coordination across the entire operational area. Our response time is instantaneous, while theirs requires hours for long-range communications. Sullivan watched the tactical display as humanity's true capabilities became visible for the first time in 50 years. Every system worked perfectly. Every ship performed exactly as designed. Every commander executed their orders with precision. But the most important part of Protocol 7 was not the military demonstration. It was the message it sent to every species in the galaxy. Humanity had been holding back not because they were weak, but because they chose to be peaceful. That choice could be changed. General, we are receiving communications from the Council. Station, Rodriguez announced. Multiple species are requesting immediate diplomatic contact with Earth. They want to negotiate. Sullivan smiled as she watched the real-time reports flooding in from across human space. The galaxy was learning that humanity had not been hiding because they were afraid. They had been hiding because they were patient. That patience had just ended. Send a message to all human forces, Sullivan ordered. Protocol 7 is now fully active. The galaxy wanted to see what humans really look like. Today they find out. High Counselor Zethkar of the Vorthak Empire stared at the tactical display in complete disbelief. The crystalline being's body normally glowed with a steady blue light, but now it flickered rapidly with patterns that indicated extreme agitation. 3 of his most advanced inspection vessels had been destroyed in less than 10 minutes by what intelligence reports claimed was a primitive human colony. Replay the engagement footage again, Zethkar commanded. His voice resonated through the council chamber like broken glass. Around him, representatives from dozens of species watched in stunned silence as the battle unfolded on the main screen. Queen Mindisara of the Zalani Collective spoke for the first time in months. The hive consciousness rarely addressed the council directly, but this situation demanded her attention. The humans demonstrated technologies we have never encountered, she said through her drone representative. Their ships moved with coordination that surpasses our collective mental link. The footage showed human vessels executing maneuvers that should have been impossible for individual pilots. They anticipated Vorthak weapons fire before it was launched. They coordinated attacks across multiple ships without any detectable communication signals. Most disturbing of all, they fought with tactics specifically designed to counter crystalline technology. Ambassador Drex of the Canthari Federation raised his forearms in a gesture of confusion. How did they know exactly which frequencies would disrupt Vorthak shields, he asked. That information is classified at the highest levels. Commander Tony Mitchell watched the council session from his hidden position inside the station's ventilation system. He had been infiltrating council space for 3 years, and his presence was completely undetected. The advanced stealth suit he wore made him invisible to all known scanning methods. Through his earpiece, Mitchell received updates from other human intelligence operatives scattered throughout the galaxy. The scope of the intelligence network was finally being revealed. Humans had been monitoring alien communications, studying their technologies and mapping their defensive systems for decades. Lieutenant Sarah Kim reported from her position near the Vorthak homeworld. Control, this is Shadow 7. Vorthak military. Frequencies are in complete chaos. They are receiving reports of human ships appearing throughout their territory. Multiple installations are requesting immediate reinforcement. Captain Ben Harris transmitted from the bridge of the UES Phantom, which was cloaked less than 50 kilometers from the Council Station. Control, this is Ghost Leader. We have visual confirmation of panic among Council military forces. Alien fleets are being recalled from patrol duties across the galaxy. The Council chamber erupted in confused discussions as more reports arrived. Human forces were appearing everywhere at once. Ships that had been invisible for years suddenly revealed themselves. Weapons platforms that no one knew existed began broadcasting identification signals. High Counselor Zethkar activated his emergency communication system. All Vorthak forces are ordered to full military alert. The human deception ends today. We will demonstrate the price of challenging the Empire. Queen Mind Isara's response surprised everyone in the chamber. Counselor Zethkar, you may wish to review additional intelligence before taking aggressive action. The main screen changed to show new footage from across the galaxy. Vorthak military bases that had been secret for centuries were now surrounded by human ships. The vessels had appeared simultaneously in dozens of star systems. The coordination required for such an operation was beyond anything the Council had imagined possible. Dr. Lisa Martinez monitored the Council reactions from her position aboard the UES Horizon. Her cultural analysis equipment was recording everything for future study. The alien body language and communication patterns revealed fear and confusion on a massive scale. Admiral Morrison, she reported, the psychological impact is exceeding our projections. Multiple species are questioning their basic assumptions about human capabilities. Admiral Jake Morrison watched from the diplomatic gallery as the Council struggled to process the new reality. For 50 years, humans had played the role of eager students learning from superior civilizations. The revelation that they had been teachers all along was devastating to alien pride. Dr. Martinez, I want you to monitor Zalani collective responses specifically, Morrison ordered. If the hive mind is impressed, then we have achieved total strategic surprise. Commander Mitchell received new orders through his quantum communication link. He was to reveal himself to the Council and deliver a message from Earth. The time for hiding was over. Mitchell activated his suit's visibility systems and appeared in the center of the Council chamber. The sudden presence of a human inside the galaxy's most secure facility caused immediate panic. Security forces rushed toward him but stopped when they realized their weapons would not function. Honored representatives of the Galactic Council, Mitchell announced, I am Commander Tony Mitchell of the Earth Defense Force. I have been observing your proceedings for the past 3 years. The silence that followed was deafening. Every species in the galaxy had believed the Council Station was absolutely secure. The idea that a human had been present during classified discussions was terrifying. High Counselor Zethkar's crystalline form turned deep red with rage. Impossible. Our security systems would have detected any intruder. Mitchell smiled and activated a recording device. Counselor, your security systems have been detecting me for years. We have been letting you see exactly what we wanted you to see. The recording played conversations between Council leaders discussing human limitations and weaknesses, military strategies for containing human expansion, trade agreements designed to limit human technological development. All of it recorded by observers the aliens never knew existed. For 50 years you have been planning how to control us, Mitchell continued. We have been planning how to protect ourselves from you. Today you forced us to show you the difference between planning and preparation. Queen Mind Isara spoke again through her drone. Commander Mitchell, how many human operatives are currently present in Council space? Enough, Mitchell replied. We have been learning about every species in the galaxy. Your languages, your technologies, your military capabilities, your cultural weaknesses. We know more about you than you know about yourselves. Captain Harris transmitted a priority message from the Phantom. Control, we are detecting massive fleet movements from multiple species. It appears the galaxy is choosing sides. The political situation was changing rapidly. Species that had been oppressed by Vorthak dominance saw an opportunity for liberation. Others feared human expansion and rallied to support the Empire. The galaxy was splitting into factions. Admiral Morrison activated his communication system and addressed the Council directly from the U.S. horizon. Representatives of the Galactic Council, this is Admiral Jake Morrison of Earth Command. Humanity formally withdraws from the Council effective immediately. His words echoed through the chamber as aliens struggled to understand the implications. No species had ever voluntarily left the Council. The idea that humans would abandon their position rather than accept subordination was unprecedented. Furthermore, Morrison continued, any attempt to enforce your ultimatum will be considered an act of war against the human species. We have demonstrated today that such a war would not proceed as you might expect. Lieutenant Kim reported from Vorthak space. Control enemy fleet formations are breaking apart. Multiple ships are requesting new orders. Their command structure appears to be failing. Dr. Martinez analyzed the alien responses. Admiral, the psychological warfare aspect is succeeding beyond our models. Several species are reconsidering their alliance with the Vorthak. Commander Mitchell remained in the council chamber as security forces surrounded him. He showed no fear because he knew they could not harm him without triggering an immediate human response. The choice before you is simple, Mitchell announced to the assembled representatives. Accept that humanity is an equal partner in galactic civilization, or discover what happens when you treat us as an enemy. High Counselor Zethkar made his final mistake. Human arrogance will be crushed. The Empire has ruled this galaxy for 10,000 years. No primitive species will change that. Mitchell activated his emergency beacon. The signal would trigger the next phase of Protocol 7. Across the galaxy, human forces received the order to demonstrate full capability. Counselor, Mitchell said as the beacon transmitted, you are about to learn why no human military commander has ever used the phrase acceptable losses. We do not find any losses acceptable. That is what makes us different from you. The main screen showed real-time tactical updates from across the galaxy. Human fleets were engaging alien forces with devastating effectiveness. But more importantly, they were doing it while simultaneously protecting civilian populations and minimizing casualties. Queen Mind Isara spoke her final words to the old council. We underestimated them. All of us. The galaxy was learning that humanity had not been hiding because they were weak. They had been hiding because they were preparing for this exact moment. The moment when the galaxy forced them to stop holding back. Fleet Admiral Greg Thompson stood on the bridge of the UES Defiance and watched as the largest space battle in galactic history began to unfold. 3 separate alien fleets had converged on the Kepler system where humanity maintained its newest research colony. The combined force included over 800 ships from 5 different species, all united in their determination to crush human expansion. Sir, enemy formations are moving into attack positions, reported his tactical officer, Lieutenant Chris Mason. We count 200 Vorthak crystalline cruisers, 300 Zilani hive ships, and another 300 mixed vessels from their allied species. Thompson nodded calmly. His fleet consisted of only 60 human ships, but he was not concerned about the odds. Every vessel under his command represented the pinnacle of human military engineering. More importantly, every captain knew exactly what they were facing and how to defeat it. Dr. Marcus Jones worked at his analysis station, reviewing the enemy tactical patterns. He had spent 15 years studying alien military doctrine and had developed specific countermeasures for each species. His predictions had been accurate in every engagement so far. Admiral, the Vorthak are deploying their standard crystalline formation, Jones reported. They expect their superior numbers to overwhelm our defenses through concentrated energy bombardment. And the Zilani? Thompson asked. Classic hive mind coordination, sir. They will attempt to surround us and attack from multiple vectors simultaneously. Their strength is unity of action across their entire fleet. Thompson smiled. Human intelligence had been studying these exact scenarios for decades. Every alien tactic had been analyzed and countered. Every weakness had been identified and exploited. Lieutenant Mason, activate the resonance weapons package, Thompson ordered. Target the Vorthak crystalline matrix frequencies. The resonance weapons were designed specifically to counter crystalline technology. Human scientists had discovered that Vorthak ships could be shattered like glass if the right frequency was applied. The aliens had never encountered this weakness, because no other species had developed the necessary technology. "Sir, resonance weapons are locked and ready," Mason replied. "All ships report green status." The first exchange of fire demonstrated the difference between human and alien military thinking. The Vorthak launched a massive energy barrage expecting to destroy the human formation through sheer firepower. Instead, their beams struck adaptive shields that absorbed and redirected the energy back at the attackers. Direct hits on lead Vorthak vessels, Mason announced. "Enemy shields are failing." Dr. Jones watched his tactical predictions come true in real time. "Admiral, the crystalline ships are showing structural damage from their own reflected energy. Their formation is beginning to break apart." The Zilani fleet attacked next, using their hive mind coordination to strike from 6 different directions at once. It was a tactic that had never failed against individual ship commanders who could not coordinate fast enough to respond to multiple threats. But human ships were not commanded by individuals. They were controlled by AI tactical systems that processed information faster than any biological brain. The quantum communication network allowed instant coordination across the entire fleet. "Sir, the Zilani are discovering that we can coordinate faster than they can," Jones reported. "Our response time is actually superior to their hive mind collective." Thompson watched as his ships executed maneuvers that seemed impossible. They moved as a single unit while maintaining individual tactical flexibility. Each vessel anticipated the actions of every other ship in the formation. Commodore Linda Chang commanded the humanitarian fleet that accompanied the military force. Her ships were equipped with medical facilities and rescue equipment designed to save lives during the battle. It was a concept that confused the aliens who saw warfare as total destruction. "Admiral, we are receiving surrender requests from damaged Vorthak vessels," Chang reported, "requesting permission to begin rescue operations." "Permission granted, Commodore," Thompson replied. "Show them what human mercy looks like." The sight of human medical ships moving through the battle zone to rescue alien survivors had a profound psychological impact. Enemy crews who expected to die fighting suddenly found themselves being saved by the same humans they had come to destroy. Dr. Jones noted the change in alien communication patterns. "Sir, enemy fleet coordination is breaking down. Multiple ships are requesting permission to withdraw from combat." The third wave of attacks came from the mixed Allied fleet. These ships represented smaller species that had joined the Vorthak Empire for protection. Their crews were poorly trained and their equipment was outdated, but they attacked with desperate courage. Thompson made a tactical decision that would change the course of galactic history. Instead of destroying the Allied ships, he ordered his fleet to disable them without casualties. "All ships switch to non-lethal targeting," he commanded. "Disable engines and weapons only. Preserve all life." Lieutenant Mason looked surprised. "Sir, that will make the engagement more difficult for our forces." "Mason, the point of this battle is not to kill aliens," Thompson explained. "The point is to show them that humanity is too strong to be conquered and too civilized to become conquerors." The human fleet began demonstrating tactics that no alien species had ever seen. They disabled enemy weapons without destroying ships. They targeted engine systems to prevent escape without harming crews. They fought a war designed to end with everyone alive. Commodore Chang's rescue fleet worked throughout the battle zone, saving alien crews from damaged vessels. Human medical teams treated wounded enemies with the same care they would show to their own people. Dr. Jones monitored the psychological impact of these actions. "Admiral, alien communications are showing extreme confusion. They cannot understand why we are saving the crews of ships that were trying to kill us." "Because," Marcus Thompson replied, "we are not fighting to destroy them. We are fighting to teach them that cooperation works better than conquest." The battle reached its climax when the remaining Vorthak forces made a desperate charge directly at the human formation. It was a suicide attack designed to inflict maximum damage even at the cost of total destruction. Thompson's response demonstrated why human military thinking was superior to alien doctrine. Instead of meeting the charge with firepower, he ordered his ships to scatter and regroup. The Vorthak found themselves attacking empty space while human vessels surrounded them from all sides. "Sir, enemy fleet is completely surrounded," Mason reported. "They have no escape route and no tactical options remaining." Thompson opened communication channels to the entire battle zone. His words would be recorded and transmitted across the galaxy by both human and alien forces. "Attention all vessels, this is Fleet Admiral Thompson of the Earth Defense Force," he announced. "You are surrounded and outnumbered. Your weapons are ineffective against our defenses. Your tactics have been anticipated and countered." He paused, to let the implications sink in before continuing. "However, we do not seek your destruction. We seek your understanding. Humanity withdraws our offer to surrender. Instead, we offer you safe passage home to deliver a message to your governments." The alien crews listened in stunned silence as Thompson explained humanity's terms. "Tell your leaders that humans are willing to coexist peacefully with all species," he said. "But we will not be subordinated or controlled. We will not accept ultimatums or threats. And we will not allow any species to dominate the galaxy." Dr. Jones analyzed the alien responses. "Admiral, we are receiving acknowledgement signals from all enemy vessels. They are requesting permission to withdraw." "Granted," Thompson replied. "Commodore Chang, please assist any vessels that need repair support for their journey home." The largest space battle in galactic history ended not with destruction, but with understanding. 800 alien ships limped home carrying the message that humanity could not be conquered by force. But more importantly, they carried the knowledge that humans did not want to conquer anyone else. They wanted to transform the galaxy from a place ruled by fear into a place governed by cooperation. Ambassador Rachel Torres received the battle reports aboard her diplomatic vessel. Her job was to turn military victory into political solution. The galaxy was ready to listen to new ideas about how civilizations should interact. "Admiral Thompson," she transmitted, "outstanding work. Phase 1 of the new galactic order has begun." President Claire Washington stood before the new galactic assembly and looked out at representatives from over 300 species. 6 months had passed since the moment humans stopped holding back, and the galaxy had transformed completely. The old council structure based on dominance and hierarchy had collapsed. In its place stood something unprecedented in galactic history. "Fellow representatives," Washington began, "today we establish the foundation for a new kind of civilization. One based not on the rule of the strong over the weak, but on cooperation between equals." Admiral Jake Morrison watched from the gallery as the president outlined humanity's vision for galactic governance. He had become the galaxy's defense coordinator, and his job was to ensure that no single species could ever again threaten the freedom of others. The audience included former enemies who had become allies. High Counselor Zethkar sat in the Vorthak delegation, but his power had been broken. Several crystal worlds had left the Empire to join the human-led alliance after experiencing protection rather than conquest. Ambassador Rachel Torres managed the complex negotiations that had led to this moment. Her team had worked with hundreds of different cultures to create a system that respected diversity while maintaining unity. It was the most ambitious diplomatic project in galactic history. Dr. Lisa Martinez observed the cultural dynamics with fascination. Her exchange programs had revealed something remarkable about human nature. Humans adapted to other cultures while maintaining their core identity. They learned from aliens without losing what made them human. The old system failed because it assumed that strength meant the right to rule, Washington continued. "We have learned that true strength means the wisdom to know when not to use power." Captain Ryan Blake commanded the peacekeeping force that maintained order during the transition. His ships included crews from dozens of different species, all working under human tactical doctrine. The combination was devastatingly effective. The transformation had not been without challenges. Some species had fought desperately to maintain the old order. Others had tried to exploit the chaos for personal gain. But human forces had proven equal to every challenge while maintaining their commitment to minimal casualties. Commander Alex Turner reported from his new position as head of galactic security. Madam President, the Rapid Response Network is fully operational. We can now intervene in any conflict anywhere in the galaxy within 72 hours. The security force represented everything the new order stood for. Multi-species crews trained in human tactics. Advanced technology shared freely between member worlds. Most importantly, a command structure that prioritized protection over conquest. Queen Mind Isara spoke through her representative for the first time since the old council collapsed. President Washington, the collective wishes to understand how humans maintain individual identity while achieving perfect coordination. Washington smiled. It was a question many species had asked as they watched human forces operate with impossible efficiency. Your Majesty, the secret is that we coordinate by choice rather than compulsion, she explained. Each human makes individual decisions that support the group goal. We are united by purpose rather than controlled by hierarchy. Dr. Martinez had studied this phenomenon extensively. Human military units functioned like biological organisms, with each person serving as a specialized cell working toward common survival. But unlike hive minds, each individual retained complete autonomy. Admiral Morrison stood to address the assembly about the new military reality. Representatives, the galaxy now operates under a simple principle. No species will be allowed to dominate others. No civilization will be permitted to expand through conquest, and no government will be able to threaten the freedom of its neighbors. The enforcement mechanism was unlike anything the galaxy had seen before. Human technology made it possible to monitor the entire galactic community simultaneously. Any military buildup was detected immediately. Any aggressive movement was intercepted before it could threaten civilian populations. But the most revolutionary aspect was that humans did not rule this system. They administered it. Every major decision required consensus from the assembly. Every military action needed approval from multiple species. Humans provided the capability, but the galaxy provided the authority. Captain Blake received reports from peacekeeping forces across known space. Former war zones had become centers of trade and cultural exchange. Species that had fought for centuries were learning to cooperate. The change was remarkable. President Washington Blake reported, "We have confirmation that the Andorian conflict has been resolved peacefully. Both sides have agreed to mediation rather than military action. It was the 15th regional conflict that had been ended through negotiation rather than warfare. The new system provided alternatives to violence that had never existed before." Commander, Turner's security forces had evolved beyond simple peacekeeping. They had become teachers, showing other species how to resolve disputes without destruction. Human tactical thinking emphasized solutions that benefited everyone involved. The economic transformation was equally dramatic. The old system had been based on scarcity and competition. Powerful species hoarded resources and technology to maintain their advantage. The new system emphasized abundance through cooperation. Dr. Martinez presented her analysis of the cultural changes. Madam President, we are seeing unprecedented levels of interspecies cooperation. Trade volumes have increased by 400%. Scientific collaboration has produced advances that no single species could have achieved alone. The Assembly voted on each proposal with remarkable efficiency. Decisions that would have taken months under the old council were resolved in hours. The difference was that species were working together toward common goals rather than fighting over limited resources. President Washington addressed the final session of the Assembly's first term. 6 months ago, the galaxy operated on the principle that might makes right. Today, we prove that cooperation makes everyone stronger. Lieutenant Peter Hayes reported for duty aboard the UES Horizon, which now served as a training vessel for mixed-species crews. Unlike previous generations of humans, he served openly as part of a galaxy that celebrated human potential, rather than fearing it. Captain Blake, Hayes reported, "The new crew integration is proceeding ahead of schedule. We have officers from 12 different species working together more effectively than single-species crews." Blake smiled as he watched the young officer take his station. The transformation was complete. Humans no longer had to hide their capabilities or pretend to be weaker than they were. They could serve openly as partners in galactic civilization. Admiral Morrison reflected on the journey that had brought them to this point. "You know, Rachel," he said to Ambassador Torres, 50 years ago, we thought our survival depended on hiding what we could do. Turns out it actually depended on showing the galaxy what we could become." Torres nodded as she watched the assembly conclude its session. The galaxy learned that humans are dangerous when threatened but valuable as allies. That understanding changed everything. Commander Turner received the final security report of the day. "Admiral, all sectors report peaceful status. No conflicts requiring intervention. No military buildups detected. No threats to civilian populations identified." It was the kind of report that would have been impossible under the old system. The galaxy was not just at peace. It was learning to stay at peace. President Washington concluded her address with words that would be remembered throughout galactic history. "The moment humans stopped holding back, we discovered something remarkable. We were not hiding our strength from the galaxy. We were hiding our potential to make the galaxy stronger." The new order was not perfect. There were still disagreements and tensions between species. But there were also mechanisms for resolving conflicts without warfare. There were systems for sharing resources and knowledge. Most importantly, there was hope that the future would be better than the past. The galaxy had learned that humanity's greatest strength was not their hidden military might. It was their ability to imagine a better way for civilizations to interact, and their willingness to fight not for conquest but for the right of every species to determine its own destiny. The moment humans stopped holding back, everything changed. But the greatest change was not in what humans could do. It was in what the galaxy could become when cooperation replaced conquest as the foundation of interstellar civilization.